Whoever sets the rules and control regulations will ultimately be responsible for the framework in which a thing is used and also sets the predominant paradigm. Let's talk about this. So I just came across an article here in regards to a small city in Missouri. Cool Valley is the name of the city. And the mayor, just recently, Jason Stewart, announced that he wants every citizen in his city to possess Bitcoin. And so the reason why is it will help his residents in the days ahead, provide some stability for their financial futures.
Your mayor says he wants to make you rich. Cool Valley could become one of the first cities in the country to give every resident a significant amount of Bitcoin, a digital currency that's projected to grow exponentially in the next decade.
Look, it's new digital money or digital gold.
And so, once again, the article caught my attention. I thought I would share my 2 cents on it because a lot of bells went off, and I thought I would take a minute to just share my thoughts and also get your take. But the prevailing narrative happens to be the adoption of cryptocurrency, and in the back part of everything, the CBDC stuff is gaining more and more momentum, but it's not really talked about as much. But yet, we're not here by coincidence. I want to share my beliefs as to why that is, and of course, I've been talking about this for quite some time. Everybody knows that my first approach is to be skeptical before I just jump on board and just run with it, just because I believe the controlling paradigm now is being established by the regulatory bodies as well as the government. So I thought I would share this just because I was thinking about an old book that I read, and I've even referenced before, and I actually have it right here. And it's called Paradigms, The Business of Discovering the Future. And I read this book years and years ago, well before the crypto narrative became mainstream. And within this book here, it gave a lot of details as to how paradigm shifts occur. And ultimately, it boils down to the need to solve problems. So give you an idea of what a paradigm is in reference to the creator of this book here. It is a set of rules or regulations, written or unwritten, that does two things. It establishes boundaries and it tells you how to behave inside of it in order to be successful. And right now, we're witnessing the revolution in regards to the push towards this digital transformation. And it's geared towards participating in this crypto adoption. Why? So that you can be successful. But this whole narrative is not new. We're here by design. And just to point out to how that is, well before now, the Economist cover, I'll always refer to that, we were told at that point that there would be a problem. And as I mentioned, paradigms are designed to solve problems. We were told that by 2018 or so, there would be a problem. And the problem is with the currency, or i.e. the money. And so the fact now we have a mayor encouraging people and actually going to do some fundraising and has some backers that will meet his fundraisings dollar for dollar to allow people to get into this cryptocurrency space. But I think it's very interesting how this particular video here will get mainstream attention. It will get pushed by all the social media feeds. Why? Because the controlling narrative is still in play. That by any means necessary, we're going in that direction towards the digital revolution. So it doesn't matter. Play it and let it happen. But it would never reach the mainstream if that particular mayor encouraged his people to not just solely focus on cryptocurrency, i.e. Bitcoin, but also to have an array of alternatives, and including gold and silver. And so if that mayor said that he wants to put a tenth of a gold ounce in every citizen's hands, it would have never taken off. Or if he would have told all the citizens the importance of owning silver, and I'll provide for you a new 2021 Silver Eagle, the story would have never made headlines. But the controlling narrative is that we're going towards a digital revolution, and that's where we're at. But yeah, what I want to share from you in this book here is the ultimate problem is the money itself. But yet, who's responsible for that problem? It happens to be the money changers, the regulators. It happens to be the central banks and the government's use of the central banks, of which this whole process has led to more control and enslaved humanity. And so here's a little graph I will share with you here. And so throughout time, our mind or paradigms like to solve problems. And of course, everything works fine and good up until we reach a point to where we can no longer solve the basic problems. And then that's when a paradigm shift occurs. And a paradigm shift in this context here is in reference to the current money system, the payment network system, all those things here. But as I mentioned, we were told about this decades ago that it would be around this time frame. And so now Bitcoin is the leading narrative being propagated by the mainstream news as well as all the maximalists and things like that. But when it comes to this paradigm shift, remember I said this, whoever sets the rules and regulations controls the boundaries of which we function in. And so as of right now, The rules are also being changed because the regulatory bodies now are laying the foundation of it. And unfortunately, at some point, the financial institutions, which will encompass the majority of the boundaries that the rules will be set up for to benefit, will have a much bigger say-so in this entire shift towards the decentralized realm than we could have ever imagined. But yet, it's all a rebranding of the same structure. Whoever sets the rules and regulations sets the boundaries of which we the people operate in. And so now the narrative, in order to be successful in this crypto space, is early adoption. But once again, they're all denominated in the same fiat currency that they, the monetary paradigm setters, or the financial institutions, central banks, as well as governments, remember, they're setting the rules and the regulations for this entire space. And so ultimately, whatever they do is going to benefit them first. And while we're still inside of the boundaries that they're setting, we're going to have to play by those rules and regulations, and it's still denominated in the same currency that they're destroying. And so what am I saying? I'm basically saying that as long as Bitcoin in particular and all the other projects are denominated and priced in the same currency that they're destroying, they're still reaping the benefits of this narrative and this transition into the digital sphere. Because as I'm shooting this right now, Bitcoin is almost approaching $50,000. And so within the boundaries we've been given, it looks like if you've been holding on to some bags, you're doing good, but you're still doing good in dollar terms. And so as we've witnessed of this whole infrastructure bill and how the words broker appeared to be problematic, but it was more problematic for those that are in the space, the businesses, the miners, and all those individuals that control the parameters within the boundaries that have been set. But then again, Janet Yellen and the Treasury have come out with some clarity on better regulating this new boundaries that have been set for us by saying that they won't consider miners and whatever as to be brokers. But once again, here we are as people, especially those in this space looking for disruption. It's no longer disruption, because the rules and regulations are being set by the same people that this whole idea was supposed to disrupt. So now here we are within the boundaries that have been set. In accordance to how many tokens or coins or projects you're a part of, your bags, referring to how many projects you have in your digital wallet, is all within the boundaries being set with the paradigm that cryptocurrency disruptive, while we're being told what, how, and when we can do what we can do within these boundaries, is giving Bitcoin to citizens actually going to be as beneficial in the future as it would be if they had actual real tangible assets in the form of gold and silver perhaps in their possession that doesn't require permission or regulatory clarity because it's money in of itself. So I just thought I would take a minute and share my 2 cents, and hopefully, this book here will help you understand what's going on. But ultimately, to sum this up, the monetary paradigm continues. The same people who set the rules up that destroyed our old system is now setting up the rules and regulations and the framework of which we, the people, will operate in this digital sphere. So I don't think we've really changed much other than just being ushered into something that gives the illusion within the boundaries that they set that we can prosper. But are you still prospering if it's denominated in the same currency that they're destroying? Wow, it buys them time to build up the CBDC stuff, which also will keep us in the same boundaries, which the rules and regulations are being set by them. Just something worth thinking about. And also, for those that might be new to the channel, I want to encourage you, get your weight up. That is my mantra here on the channel. I've been saying it for quite some time now. They don't want you to go backwards. They're excited about you going forward. Why? Because they're setting the rules and regulations and controlling the boundaries of which you operate. And believe me, they don't mind Bitcoin going to $1 million. Why? Because it's still priced in Federal Reserve notes. And so until we reach the point where the world no longer prices your everyday goods and services solely in dollars, and they do it in Satoshis or BTC or whatever other currency, we're still in those boundaries. We're still going to have to abide by the rules set by them. And you better believe me, as time moves forward, the rules will change and the boundaries will become a lot tighter on people thinking they're going to prosper in this transition. Just my 2 cents. Curious to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Let's talk about this.